Welcome everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Rainer and this is Rainierbooks. I've read something. This is my segment where I give you single reviews of books that I've read. And I want to give you a review today of The Secret Life of Church Ladies by Deesha Philyaw, published by West Virginia University Press in 2020. A buddy read that I did with Courtney Ferrence. Let's get started. The Secret Lives of Church Ladies is a collection of 9 short stories that was published on September 1 by West Virginia University Press in the United States. A very interesting publisher. I've never heard before of West Virginia University Press, and I think you should make a note of that because they really publish interesting stuff. And because I thought that universities would only publish academic studies, things like that, but they also publish literature and fiction and nonfiction, and West Virginia University Press absolutely does that. Now in February, a collection of stories by a guy named Larry D. Thacker is being published, Working It Off in Labor County. Sounds very interesting. And last year they published a novel called Hillbilly Hustle by Wesley Browne. So obviously West Virginia University Press, they also say that on their webpage, are publishing a lot of stuff, studies and fiction and nonfiction that is sort of connected to their region and also to Appalachia. And last year a memoir came out called Appalachian North by Matthew Ferrence. I found all of these three other examples of West Virginia University Press pretty interesting. So this is an interesting regional publisher who has released this book, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, which turned out to be a jewel among other jewels, maybe the crown jewel right now in the collection of books that they have published. It was a finalist for the National Book Award. Apparently last year it was top 5 in the National Book Award, didn't win. But I read this as a buddy read with Courtney Ferrence. We had a couple of check-ins on VOXER, and we both enjoyed the book, I can say. And today, actually, and today's Tuesday when I film this, Tuesday, the 2nd of February, today actually it was announced that The Secret Life of Church Ladies is also nominated to the PEN/Faulkner Award of 2021, and rightly so. I will take a look at the books nominated for the PEN/Faulkner Award in my next video. I'm quite far away from the places where this is playing. This is in the south of the United States, this is in Georgia, this is in Louisiana, this is in Florida, and I live in Sweden. Sweden is a very Protestant country. We are a country where people not necessarily go to church. Well, they might go to church to get married, but just because they like the surroundings of the church mostly. Not so many believers here, so church and religion is not so important, obviously, and it wasn't so important where I grew up in Germany, at least not in my family. It is important in some parts of Germany, for example, in Bavaria, and that's why I compared a little bit to Bavaria here, The Secret Lives of the Church, because there's the same sense of religion, and that religion church still dominates and makes the rules for the lives of many people. But here, in this book, we are diving into the lives of black women in the American South, who believe in the Lord, who believe in Jesus, and who go to church. And church is sort of giving those people the moral compass of their lives, not always to the best. The names of these ladies we meet here in the short story collection by Deesha Philyaw are Eula, Kimba, Tashita, Nishal, and Kashal. I love these names, and these ladies and girls and women, they have desires, and their families and their pastors have told them how life is supposed to be lived. Like Eula, who meets every year, I think on New Year's Eve, she meets a female former college maid or high school maid, and they meet in a hotel somewhere, and from one date on New Year's Eve on, they will have sex every time they meet each year. So, but this girl, Eula, she defines herself at the age of 40 still as a virgin because she never had sex with a man, because that's how what sex is supposed to be, being between a man and a woman, and for the sake of getting pregnant and having children, right? And the same sexual theme as, not the same sexual theme, but a different sexual theme for a heterosexual couple in the second story, which is called Not Daniel. I like this one very much because it has a very absurd sort of scenery. There are two people, a man and a woman. They have each has their mother in a hospice, in the same hospice, and the mothers are about to die. They are very, very terminally and fatally ill. And this man and this woman, they visit their mothers, and after they visit their mothers, they get together in the car of either the man or the woman, and they have wild sex on the backseat of a Cadillac or whatever they are driving. So this is also the story of visiting the mother and doing sort of what everybody expects of them, but then do something that is, at least by the book, by the official book, forbidden to do. My favorite story in this volume is called Peach Cobbler, and I read a couple of reviews of this book today, and I found two other reviews of this book that also name Peach Cobbler as the best story of the volume. Peach Cobbler is a story about peach cobbler, which is a dish that I have never known about until I read this book. So I'm very thankful to Deesha Philyaw for introducing me to peach cobbler, which I'm not supposed to eat, right? So when I drop a couple kilos, I will do this. I will eat peach cobbler. But the story of Peach Cobbler by Deesha Philyaw is a beautiful story about a young girl growing up and in very poor conditions. Each and every Monday, her mother gets a visitor, and the visitor is the pastor that they are seeing each Sunday in church, where she goes with her mother. And the pastor comes, and the mother has prepared a huge portion of peach cobbler for the visitor, the pastor, and after a while, he eats all the peach cobbler. The little girl gets never a little piece of it. The mother is quite not so nice to her daughter. And afterwards, they go into the bedroom where usually mother and daughter are sleeping, and moaning is heard by the daughter. They have sex, the pastor with the mother. And later on, it turns out that the mother is also getting money to survive by the pastor for each and every Monday that the pastor is visiting. Funnily enough, when the girl gets a little older, when she's in her teens, she is teaching the son of the priest, not the priest, but the pastor. Son is called Trevor, and I think they also have a very short fling and relationship. Not a relationship, but they sort of have sex with each other. And then the girl is preparing peach cobbler for the mother and for the son. Using the same recipe that her mother has used for the pastor. This is a very interesting story. Many stories in this volume tend to circle around mother and daughter relationships. So there's a development of mother and daughter relationships, which I also had when I buddy read Burnt Sugar together with Karen Evans at the end of the last year by Avni. Doshi playing in a very different country, playing in India. Always interesting connections to be made between stories. Then the final story approaches, and the final story of this volume is called When Eddie Levert Comes. Eddie Levert is the singer from the band The OJs. OJs were a pretty famous band. They had, the biggest hit I think they had was Now That We Found Love, What Are We Gonna Do With It? Now that we found love, what are we gonna do? I love that song. Beautiful song by the OJs, and the OJs play a role in the last story when Eddie Levert comes, because there's a mother and daughter again in the story. The mother is suffering from dementia, and she's always preparing for Eddie Levert to come. She doesn't remember her daughter most of the times, but she is waiting for Eddie Levert. She wants to be beautiful for Eddie whenever Eddie is coming. This book has been compared to Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo that won the Booker Prize in 2019. And I think this book is not to be compared. I think that both books are not... You don't do each one of the books justice by comparing them with each other. Okay, you have Afro-British women in Girl, Woman, Other. You have Afro-American women in a set of Afro-American women in The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, but that's where it ends, you know. There's a lot of differences. And this was far away from my world. These ladies who are so much believing in the Lord and in Jesus and in singing their beautiful gospels. But the more I read and the more stories I read, the more I got into this book, I think the closer these women came to me. And I felt pretty close to them. I felt that I knew them when I've read them. Yeah, well, read and eat. Peach Cobbler, my friend. Deesha Philyaw is a very interesting voice in American literature, and I think she will come back. I'm pretty sure she will come back, and I hope she comes back with a very powerful novel with one of these characters or another character, an Afro-American female character in the center of a novel. That's what I wish from Deesha Philyaw. Thanks for this, and good luck for the PEN/Faulkner Award for you, Deesha. That was the video. That was everything about the book. I will come back with the list of the nominees for the PEN/Faulkner Award because I think it's one of the most important awards in American literature. Thanks very much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel because you helped me a lot of making this channel grow. Please drop a comment if you read The Secret Lives of Church Ladies and if you liked it or if you didn't like it, and tell me what your favorite story was. Was it not Daniel? Was it Eula? Or maybe it was Peach Cobbler as well. Thanks very much for watching this. I hope that you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Stay safe, wear a mask, socially distance. Bye-bye.